This episode of My Bloody Judy is sponsored by HorrorPress.com. Howdy, howdy, and welcome to My Bloody Judy with your final forgets, myself, Zachary Patton Garcia.
And Ian Carlos Crawford.
Last season for Yellowjackets, this was like 2 years ago, wasn't it? It was
just
like
a year ago.
Was it like a long? I guess it was a year ago, huh? It was like a longer sort of like hiatus between seasons, wasn't it? But
because it's like a year and 3 months or a year and 2 months, because it was the same. It was our last My Bloody Judy on Slayer Fest.
We did, yes. We didn't have our own platforms for it yet, but we did a season recap because we didn't expect how good the show was going to be. So for these episodes, we're gonna do like little like thoughts and little discussions. These are sort of mini episodes, I guess. But we have the season 2 premiere. Last season, was it just the first episode that came out when it premiered, or did they drop like 3 at once? I don't remember.
I don't remember, honestly.
We've got one episode. I was kind of expecting like 3 because I guess that's just what we're conditioned to at this point. But what'd you think?
So I was like, okay, we're recapping it. Let me take notes. Jesus Christ. It's like I have so many notes. I have 3.5 pages of notes.
Oh my gosh, Ian, damn. Okay. I do love
so
that we
much.
so we start the episode right, and we've got like kind of just flashes of what everybody's doing in the cabins and stuff. This is like the flashback. I loved that that Ty is like tied up to keep her from sleepwalking, and we see that play a little bit later. And yeah, I guess we're just kind of catching up now, right? Natalie and Travis, I guess, have been going out on like little excursions to, I guess they're looking, what are they doing? Are they looking for, it's like a combination of like looking for help and looking for his brother, right?
I think they're just looking for, I think like he's just looking for his brother.
Okay.
Because later when she talks to the coach, he's like, he's not. And she's like, I know, I'm doing it. Well, she's doing it for him.
I mean, at the same time, they're at least getting to map the area, and so like she's been taking like notes and maps, and so they have been putting. I love this shit that she's been putting, like, you know, all of these, like every time they go out and they hike a couple miles, she comes back with like a new piece of paper to add to the map, and it really is helpful.
And that's like, I didn't even think about that. And then once she handed him the paper and they had like a map, I was like, oh, I guess that is helpful. That makes sense.
That's a real good map too. Like, it's got terrain. It's got, I guess she studied maps at some point, because mine would have a little cabin house, a little drawing for a little house, and a little circle that says lake.
And then like cartoon trees. Like, there was a lot of trees.
Yeah, we wouldn't be getting through this, okay? It looked real nice and real lush last season because they were in like, you know, warmer weather, and now it's all snowy and it's terrible.
Yeah, it does feel bleaker, right?
Yeah, I do love that we get the new timeline. So we've got like a third timeline now. It only showed like a brief flash of them getting rescued, or not getting rescued, but like
yeah.
They were being put onto another plane.
Yeah, probably they were rescued and then going from a plane.
I don't know if I'd just drive RV something where if the car crashes, at least people see me.
And if I die, I die, but at least I'm not
that be the season 2 twist, is that it happened to them twice. It happened twice.
Listen, I feel like I probably said this a lot last season too, but like I just especially now I'm getting like very hardcore Lost vibes.
I
kept in my notes, I kept being like, oh, we're back to the island, even though like technically we don't know what the fuck it is. Like it might not be an island, it might just be the woods.
And we're getting more Lottie now too. So like as Nat and Travis are going out on these excursions, I guess Lottie is now the spiritual leader of the cabin. And so she is slowly growing followers, and she is blessing them on their way out the door. And
my one critique with that is it felt like suddenly we were like, oop, here's a lot of Lottie. Like it felt like there was like just like one. I mean, I still enjoyed it. It just felt like there was like one maybe like transition episode missing from Lottie's story from like the last season to this.
Well, I think we're just going to get the explanation right. This was this was the full setup episode. I was hoping that we were going to get. I remembered that Natalie had like gotten kidnapped, so I knew we weren't going to get Natalie. But I was hoping we were going to get the rest of them kind of teaming up and like in the same space during this episode. But I guess we're gonna. I guess they're going to do it like they did last season, and it's like spaced out the times and they're all big actresses, right? So I guess they can't really get them all in one space for too long. But,
I was thinking about that with Juliette Lewis when like. Because she doesn't come until like a half hour into it, right?
Oh yeah,
maybe later. And like I was like, I wonder if because like especially the like present timeline actresses are like all pretty big. Yeah. I was like, I wonder if Juliette Lewis is like, nope, I'm not available for the first episode.
That first season I bet that got them some work. I should go check their filmographies now because I bet they got some work after that first season. I fucking love Shauna's entire story this episode. I love that they really do with Shauna. They just like lean into the crazy of her. What?
No, I was gonna say the thing I like is like So, like, I like that her and Taissa are, like, the normal ones, but actually they're probably the craziest ones.
Freaking crazy. And you know what's wild about Shauna is her crazy makes her seem normal, right? But there's a scene later in the episode where they're having hot dogs at the dinner table, and the dinner table is all set up as if they're having, like, a pot roast. She's having wine with her hot dog. And that was crazier and more unhinged than any of the other shit she's done this entire episode. So I feel like when we see her nibbling on an ear, I think that's normal for her. I'm like, okay, yeah, nothing out of the ordinary here. If she wasn't nibbling on an ear, I might have to call somebody.
My first thought was, Zach would eat me. Zach would totally be like, well, gotta do it.
Well, you gotta, I don't know, though. I don't know.
Oh, right, you don't like a cannibal. I forgot.
I don't really like a cannibal. And I've gotten to the point where as I get older and we are eating and watching a movie at the same time, if there's anything that is like gross or like squishy, I can't even eat my food. It'll ruin my dinner for me. Yeah. I love that when we pick up with Shauna, where we're in the interrogation with Misty. I love that she is like throwing herself full force into like, we're going to protect the group, right?
And like, I gotta say, and I know that I felt this way, but I like forgot. So Misty's like the most outwardly crazy, right? Like Misty, she's nuts, and she's definitely like vicious nuts where like she will murder you. As we saw last season, she has no problem injecting something
keeping you in her basement for a couple of days and then injecting something into your cigarette.
But the thing is, I fucking love Misty, and I like actually do feel bad for her that like she calls these women her best friends and they all fucking hate her. Like they only call her when they need to hide a fucking body. Like,
she got so excited that this whole thing was happening and that this man had to die because she got to like get her friends back and they were going to go on a little adventure together, right? Like Christina Ricci is so perfect in this role. She like keeps her she does the Debbie Salt thing where she keeps her eyes open the entire time that she's there. I love that she's like using a ghost face voice as she's doing this practice interrogation with Shauna. And Shauna's ass like didn't come up with this. This was fully Misty. Like, come to my basement, sit down, and we're gonna pretend you're interrogated.
But also, how fucking funny was that? Like, the thing I like about Misty is that she's crazy. She seems like a dumb child because she is they're all kind of like stunted children, right?
Yeah.
But like, she's fucking smart, right? And she's like, the only thing you say to a cop is, I want to talk to my lawyer. I put it on the cookie cake. And it's on the fucking
She's fucking bananas. And when she goes back to the motel to look for Natalie and get questions about Natalie, she goes up to the fucking the clerk and she's like, I know your social security number. You want?
He was not.
And when that didn't work, she's like, okay, well, I know people are annoyed with me. I liked that. I liked that she's very aware of what people think about her. And so she sat down and she's like, I'll just sit here. I can hold my pee for a very long time.
I feel like she's only not aware of it with the survivors. I feel like everything else she's very aware.
I think she is, but I think she doesn't. I think at this point in her life, she doesn't really care. And she just pushes
But like to her, she loves them, so it's like fine.
And it's sad when she goes to Natalie's room, right? And like, she's like, my friend, we went on a road trip together.
She specifically says best friend too.
Yeah.
I was like,
I did cocaine for you off this very bed right here. Okay. Best seen in the series. Never top it. They'll never top it. But then she's the one who immediately clocks that some shit is gone
she's
down,
smart.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to know what other mysteries she's been involved in, because her ass has been Velma from Scooby-Doo in the last, like, however many years it's been.
Just with a lot more murder.
But she's like, I know something's going on here. Look at this paint job. Back with Shonda, though. Okay, so what did you... Jackie's been dead in the flashback, and she just, I guess, goes to the... Because I wasn't sure if it was like a treehouse or something, but then... Because I thought that was a flashback. And
Yeah,
I was
so
like,
did
okay.
I. So did I, yeah.
And then it flashed to... It really shocked me. Like, it jolted me when
I gasped.
Like, showed her just kind of, like, frozen solid. And I'm like... It's like, Jackie. And I loved Jackie. Like, the last season, the actress who played Jackie was, like, super likable, even though she was such a bitch.
Yeah, no, I thought she... Well, because also... Shauna, like, on the outside seems more chill and, like, she wouldn't... But Shauna was just as awful. She fucked her boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
They were both terrible to each other. It's just because Jackie, like, has the mean girl, like, hot girl look. Yeah. That you're like, we're more inclined to be like, oh, she's the bad one. But really, they were both assholes to each other.
Exactly. And she froze to death for it, okay? So, there you go. But I just... I think it's fucking...
I would freeze to death.
That's just like having full conversations with her friend's frozen body.
And when the body falls...
Just like... When the body falls, I thought it was going to be an arm or something, right? So I had a flurry of emotions when I saw this body. I was like, first off, are they cutting chunks off this body? Is this what's happening right now? I don't think they're there yet.
But I think eventually they'll get there.
Because that's what she says, like, we have to start rationing, right? Yeah. At some point, they're going to be like, start taking an ass cheek. Take a thigh, okay?
Just a little finger. She's
Can I get a
there.
wing? Just a little bit of elbow. Misty would ask for the elbow. Can I get an elbow?
Misty would be like, oh, this part will be the most delicious. We're going to cook it.
And Shauna's having conversations with this frozen body, and the body fucking falls over, and the ear rips off. I thought it was going to be the arm that ripped off, because that's the sound that it made.
When she's panicking at first and looking at it, I was like, oh, did her face cave? Like, I thought maybe she fell on her face and it, like, smushed in.
I could have seen that, too, because it's frozen.
Because, right, I was going to say, because it's frozen.
Condition for 2 months, to be honest.
That's literally a kill from Jason X when he's in space. He freezes the girl and smushes her face.
And she keeps the ear, which, again, does not feel that crazy when Shauna's doing it.
Like, you're like, it doesn't. Like,
it's like it kind of makes sense for her, for Melanie, okay?
I mean, to be realistic, I was like, I could see me doing this if, like, I crashed on an island or wherever with, like, Zach and Kim, and, like, they froze to death.
Have
like,
my ears.
I might talk to their bodies and, like, keep a little ear in my pocket to be like, oh, look, I got Zach and Kim with me.
Howdy, this is my buddy Judy with you. Or if I don't forget, it's myself, Zachary Patton, Garcia, and Ian. It flashes to my body, and I'm just like...
I'm like, oh, his ear fell off. This right here. I'm gonna glue it back on later.
It's fucked up. Okay, it's fucked up. Still, this episode was not as fucked up as the beginning of the first episode where they're hunting the girl.
Literally,
so
yeah.
This felt normal. It felt like I was back with my friends, and I was like, okay, well, nothing here is shocking. I'm like actually not all that shocked. I was surprised at myself for that. Yeah,
I think the body was the most shocking to me. That like she was like,
yes. I think just because of the expectation of it being like a flashback, but then when it's just her body, and they all I love that everybody in back of the cabin kind of knows that she's doing it. They're like, we've all walked past the window and seen her doing it. Okay, we just kind of let her. She needs to grieve. Somebody even says that. Somebody says she's still grieving.
I was like, this is me being like, she's good. She's just leave
let
her.
Him grieve. Listen, when we're all out and trapped in the woods in a cabin, anything is going at this point. I did miss the Christian girl. It made me really miss her, the one who took the plane out. I was like,
was always upbeat.
She should have had something going.
Also,
another little plan.
I love that immediately we meet like 3 new characters that are like also survivors that we hadn't seen before.
I had to think about it because we knew we saw like stragglers in the background of last season, but I had
there
to
always
remember,
were like more girls.
I was like, am I not a good Yellowjackets fan? Because I don't know who this bitch is singing in the outhouse. I have no idea who this is. And Misty, I love that Misty gets all angry about it, but like this is clearly Misty's connection to show tunes, so we're going to be getting that.
As soon as they I was like, oh, this annoying theater girl is being nice to Misty. Oh, I bet she's going to die brutally. And that
she's going to take your identity, her social security number and everything. Does Misty go by Misty or do they just call her Misty?
No, she does. She does. And I feel like Misty will actually like this girl. This will be the one girl that is like actually her friend, and then like Misty will have to eat this girl.
Because poor Misty, even the flashback Misty,
I feel
she's just
bad.
like, I just wanted us to have some shrooms, you know. I wanted us to
It's
party.
like-
I didn't know y'all were gonna go cannibalistic and try to start a cult in the middle of the night, right? Like that's not normal shroom behavior. I've done this before.
I mean, it isn't.
That's
never
more of a
done
you
drugs
problem
and-
than a Misty problem. Okay, I just want to go hook up with my gay boyfriend coach.
My inappropriately aged gay boyfriend coach. Like I keep waiting for him to die. I feel
I'm
like
glad he's
like,
still around, but I just want him to stay. Just stay with us.
Yeah, but-
stay with us.
Coach is totally gonna
A
die.
one-legged
I
gay
forget.
coach.
Did we confirm that he's dead in the present, or have they not? I don't think they've confirmed.
I don't think
anyone.
they've talked about it. I really enjoy that they did that in the first season because
Yeah.
the more we grow to like characters, there's still hope for them, and they even say it in this that there's no such thing as false hope. So there's no false hope that any of these characters are dead. Like gay coach is hobbling around with one leg. I fully believe it.
Okay, but there is such thing as false hope. That's like
Either that or Misty eats his dick. Okay, when his dick falls off, because her ass is talking to him in the meat shed. They
Gobbling him.
have to take shifts. Okay, her and Shauna.
she's like, "Ha! Now I got it, Coach."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Shauna eats Jackie's ear too. I guess we forgot to talk about that when we were talking about the ear.
I mean, that's the very end of the episode. That also did. I will say that did shock me, even though I knew we know.
I knew that she was going to do something with it, right? But like it kept showing her, and she'd be like caressing the ear, and I'm just like, this is not shocking. What else is in the flashbacks parts?
So we get that Thaisa and Van are sleeping together
Yes.
upstairs, and Thaisa is like aggressively. I guess is it supposed to be that's what she's doing every night? Is like
Have
aggressively
you
hooking up with her?
ever, with any partners that you've had a partner
Yes.
who wakes up in the middle of the night and like gets frisky but doesn't remember doing it the night before? Alistair
Yes.
does this all the time. A lot of the sex that we have is like late night sex because he'll wake up and it's just that's what he wants to do. And
Zach, that was like a fear of mine because my one ex that I worked when we worked together, I remember being like, "You made me choke you really hard last night." Like that made me nervous. And he had no like he woke me up so we could fuck and made me choke him very hard and had no recollection of it. I was like, "You don't remember? Jesus
happens
Christ."
all the time. And then Alistair gets mad and goes, "Well, I can't remember it, so it doesn't count." I'm like, listen, I got off, you got off. It was a whole good time, okay? Just because you can't remember. It's your dark passenger. I'm going to start calling it his dark passenger. I'm going to start saying that. But yeah,
Did she
Ty
bite
does
her?
go a little extra, though. She bites her.
Okay, yeah.
She
I wasn't
starts
sure.
to kiss her, and she bites her. And I'm just like, nope, Van, go downstairs. You need to be downstairs. We can tie up upstairs. She needs to stay there because...
Right, like
she's
even
dangerous.
if you love that
she's
person,
dangerous.
like
yes, she's great awake, but the dark passenger comes out and she's
Yeah.
dangerous.
like,
It was so great
Actually,
seeing Jasmine Savoy Brown in this too. Also,
it was right. Like
it felt really nice right after Scream.
that's like very much like, oh, my friend.
Yes, and it was like the reverse last time, right? Like we saw Jasmine Savoy Brown first, and then saw her in Scream, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was Scream happened in like the middle of the season. Scream came out. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
But yeah, I did like the shit with her wife when she like, because it felt like Thaisa was like doing fine, but like it also tracks for that character that she's ignoring that her wife has left her, is not speaking to her, and she just like brings a dog to school, and the wife is like, "Get the fuck away from our kid," which like
Pretty, like
part of me-
wildly too, like immediately.
yeah, part of me is like, can she relax? And then part of me is like, well, if I found our dog's head in our basement,
yes.
I also wouldn't want that person.
I'm always
near.
on the side of the animal. Always on the side of the animal. And not only did she cut off the dog's head, put it in the basement, all that stuff, she goes out, buys a new dog. She leaves the dog's head in the basement. She doesn't ever like put it in a trash bag and go dispose of it. She leaves the shit there. And then the new dog came walking in, and I screamed at my TV. I was like, "Don't you do nothing to the dog!"
Didn't it look? Because the dog like looks at the camera. It
Dog-
looks like the dog's like, fuck.
A new character. This dog's a new character. The dog also survived the plane crash in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I'm like very afraid for the dog because Ty says, "Oh, I'm not gonna do this to you. I'm gonna do better." I'm like, no, you're not. You're gonna kill that dog.
I'm like, you're gobble it up. Is that going to be doing better?
Like, it's gonna be hanging from like the ceiling fan, like going around as Sammy comes home for a visitation.
Also, I don't think I realized that there was a voodoo doll of her son next to that dog's head.
Was that what that was? I was like trying to
see. Like a doll clearly of their son. And like,
so I understand maybe it's like a protection altar probably, but still, this woman is dangerous. Sammy does not need to be with her. And her wife didn't need to be with her. Her wife's named Simone, right? Yeah, she doesn't need to be with her. I love, you know what? I love Jasmine Savoy Brown. I love older Taysa, but she's dangerous. And
the vibes are off.
The vibes are off, and she's killing animals, okay?
But like, it's weird because I want her, like, I like her.
Yeah.
It's again, it goes back to like how her and Shauna present as the most normal, but actually they're the fucking most unhinged. And like, I don't know, I'm like rooting for them, even though they're both bad people.
That's the hard thing with actresses, right? Is you love them so much that you end up rooting for them. But you kill a dog and anything else, I won't watch the John Wick movies because the dog died, you know? So it's a really hard place for me to be in right now. Van does write in the blood that after Ty like bites her lip, writes in blood on Ty's arm, "I love you." And I'm just like, this is for the Tumblr girlies. This is, you know, they would be reposting this. If I see this shit pop up on Twitter, I'm reporting your account. Do not let me see this, okay?
You're going to report your own podcast.
Willow Rosenboob, this is to you. I'm talking to you. This would be your shtick.
Liv would like some shit like that.
Oh, she did. She liked American Horror Story Season 1, Tate. That's some shit he'd do. Yeah.
But so, like, I also feel like that ex-wife, maybe still married, is going to end up dead, though, right?
Yes. Well,
that's like my concern for that child.
Why should it be a missing child? God, please don't let the child be missing. I don't want to look for another child. Wolfpack already did it to me. We got one this year. That's all we need. I feel like that's probably going to happen. Sammy's probably going to go live with her or something. Something weird is about to happen with all of that.
I actually couldn't remember who it was that found the altar. I don't know why in my brain I thought it was Taysa walks in and sees that altar and she's surprised, but it's not. It's her ex-wife.
Well, there's also like, continue.
So I was I'm still not 100% sure if we're supposed to assume, because Taysa did seem like a little surprised when she was going into the like altar area. And I'm not sure if like she kind of knew or if she fully knew or like
at first when she started crying, she went like this. And I'm like, oh shit, she's praying. She's going to start praying.
Yes.
She's praying.
But then it was like she was covering her face. So
I don't know. I still don't know. I might need to go rewind that scene because it looked like a little of both to me. Maybe it's just pray crying. Okay. But something's going, and she has extra stakes too, right? Like she has this campaign, and so that gives me extra anxiety because
not even she won. It's not even campaigning.
Yes,
anymore.
Exactly. Some shit is going to go down, and it's going to be public, and people are going to know about it. You know.
And again, it goes back to how her and Shauna are the craziest, and also they have the most complications in their life. Right? Like Misty and Natalie, like they're good. They can fuck off.
Yeah,
and like be fine.
And they just like can let the crazy out or whatever. Ty does seem like she is very interested in keeping up appearances, but Shauna doesn't give a fuck. Shauna is like very cool, collected, and just like, yeah, my lover's dead. He drew these paintings of me because she finds a key to this guy's her affair.
Also, I had forgotten about that plot. I completely forgot about it.
But I remember that's what we ended with, right? And that's how, because they introduced that at the beginning of this episode. But she finds this key to like an art studio, and so they go to the art studio, and he'd been like drawing paintings of her, and she just casually is like, you know, Jeff,
well,
I think of you fucking other women and their tongues inside your mouth. What does that do to you? And he like fucks her over the paintings of her.
Which I was like, good for them. This is hot.
I like the rekindling of the relationship. I am for it. I'm for it.
Yeah. And like, I just was like, what is this husband thinking? And I love that then later we get the scene of him like having his breakdown in the car, listening to fucking
To
Papa
Papa
Roach. It
Roach,
was
just
such
like
a
last
good song to
resort.
play.
It's like perfect, and I love that he's like literally in the garage, and she's just right outside of the garage with the like grill, so she probably hears it.
It's like whatever.
But she's a little bit of a sociopath, isn't she? Like she doesn't really have like feeling. I think she kind of
Yes.
just like.
That's the thing I was gonna say. I don't think she actually feels bad about murdering that guy. She's kind of like, oh,
she
this
feels
is
bad
annoying.
about a whole lot. I think she has maybe like inklings of guilt because she does feel bad about Jackie. That's why she's talking to Jackie so much. But maybe her feelings have all been stripped away in the woods, like during her time.
I was gonna say that might be like the thing that broke her as an adult, and that's why as an adult she doesn't.
Because she's very deadpan, like
Yeah.
well,
And like, so I mean this in a like good way. The thing I like about her is that, like you said, she's basically a sociopath. She is like one of the craziest ones. She's murdering people. She doesn't give a shit. She's having rough sex in the studio of the like guy she murdered. I like that they're like, even though that's like her vibe, Natalie dresses hot. Like they like Natalie looks fucking hot in those leather pants, that like flowy top and the heels, stumbling around the woods. That was like a adult Buffy outfit, is how I felt.
listen,
Shauna,
but let's like okay, let's make it a little bit more realistic. She looks like she was on a 7-day bender still. Okay, Natalie always looks like she's on a 7-day.
well,
bender.
yeah, but she's dressed nice. But Shauna, I like that they still dress her as like this like normal suburban, like they don't like sexy her up. It's just like, yeah, she's just like she looks like a regular suburban mom, right?
Yeah, and she drives a minivan. In that first episode, she, got in the accident in the minivan. She really is just like normal suburban mom. And it really comes from, I think she just doesn't care about anything. I don't think she cares about dressing up. I don't think she cares about like a whole lot. I would be curious to know what she does care about. Because I think she cares about that damn kid, that annoying ass fucking kid.
I was gonna say I think that her daughter's, because she tries with her daughter. I think that's
does she try with her daughter? Her daughter's like,
well, her daughter fucking hates her.
It was a fucking good moment though with her daughter. Her daughter's like, "You need to tell Dad." She's like, "I told Dad," and she's like, "How could you tell Dad?" She's really like, good. "I fucking did it." Gosh, damn, annoying kid. She's next. The daughter's next. Let Ty into the house at night. let Ty babysit the daughter. Get rid of that problem real quick.
She is an adult teenager. She does not be babysat. But like, I don't know. There's something that I really love about like this like regular suburban presenting family, and like we're actually murderers and covering up a murder. I can't remember. Does the daughter know that she killed him, or is the daughter just like kind of assuming?
No. I don't think so, because at the end of the episode, she finds. They burn all of this guy's stuff, the ID, everything, right? But they don't make sure that all the pieces are burned, because the daughter fucking finds the picture. Everything else is burned, but like the little picture of him is there. Yeah. And so I don't think the daughter knew that she killed her, but I think the daughter's going to be that.
Because she suspects it, I think.
Somebody needs to tell that daughter, snitches get stitches, okay? We used to eat our friends in the woods back in the 90s. Do you want to? Exactly, okay. She needs to tell her what really went down in the woods and to scare the shit out of her. Because I think that daughter's going to tell. But I love Jeff too. And I love how like he kind of perfectly fits in with Shauna. And he's like, again, like suburban dad, furniture salesman, and is blasting out to Papa Roach in the garage and helping cover up a murder and also casually, and then they go to work the next day, and they just like go about their business, like it's not.
I mean, when she calls him at work, it's like he knows all this happened, and he's like, "Hey, you want some McDonald's?" Blah blah blah, and is all like.
They act like this was just they both had an affair, but they're coming together and they're rekindling. No, the man is dead. There was a murder. There's a murder. Do we remember that? I don't know. But I love Shauna. Her whole storyline is probably my favorite. But who else do we have? I guess Natalie, right? Natalie and Lottie kind of tie up together because Lottie's now like a spiritual leader, fully running a cult in the middle of the woods. I thought that was the spot too. At first, I was like, "Is that where they went missing?"
Oh, like from the yeah. I like that hot girl at the septum was like her captor, and I like that she was like chill.
Yeah.
And when she stabbed her, because the girl put up her hand, I was like, and because we just saw Scream 100 times, I was like, she stabbed her in the eye. Like I really thought she stabbed the girl in her eye. but I fucking love Natalie. Natalie is like the Ian character, right? Like the character that Ian would love. Like that's like
you can be Ian. Which one am I then? If you're Ian, if you're Natalie, who am I?
Well, no, I meant like the character that I love, like character that like
no. Who are
Ian
you
was.
though? Okay, well then who are you?
Well, see, because I do think I'm probably mostly her. But I do think I have like I put this in my notes. I could be Misty if I was more ambitious. Like I could be that crazy, but like I don't have you.
I think you're a little shy to be that crazy. Like to go up to somebody and say, "I know your social security number." However, yes,
you would. Do
I could fully do that.
You could do that to me just as a joke. Be like, "Oh yeah, I found your social security number," and like you found it somewhere on
and
the
put
internet.
like poison in your weed. You know?
Yeah, it's like you have more Misty than I do, but
there's a compliment. I'll take it.
We both meet in the middle with Misty, I think, because I have the emotions and the depression. I think like I have the outward of like I would sit and cry.
But like so I do like I don't do it as much now. I think in the past couple of years I've kind of I do think like COVID and like constantly being on Zoom with people and stuff like that has really tired me out from people. But for a long time, like throughout my entire life, I've always been like a real people pleaser, and I always wanted to be like in there with the friend group and making sure all the friends were like doing something. And then like I fully relate to that. And I think that's just what she wants to do. She just wants her friends together, doing something, going on a road trip, solving some murders, you know, covering up some murders.
I don't know. I feel like that's the part that I relate to with her because as you know, I prefer the company of my friends as opposed to like people I'm fucking
not
dating
your friends,
or whatever.
I think that's normal. Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? Like I'd rather be like, I'd rather hang out with my friends. And like that Misty has no interest in like, or we haven't seen.
She got burned by a boy once. Never again. Never again. He turned out to be gay. I bet she told that story. Boy. Any other dates she ever goes on, she's like, yeah, my last boyfriend turned out to be gay. She doesn't like fill in the pieces. Still
now, if she went on a date tomorrow, she'd be like, oh, my last boyfriend.
She just doesn't like time it. There's no need for a time frame. Okay. Yeah, Natalie it's like held captive and we don't see her for like most of this episode. But then when we do see her, she like is fully did this remind you of Nancy from The Craft when she's like tied up to the bed and she's like
I can see that.
She even sounded like her. Yeah, and she like escapes and she goes running into the woods and then runs into Lottie. I thought she was gonna beat Lottie's ass with a tree stick.
Wanted her to beat Lottie's ass.
And I thought Lottie was gonna go like and like a force field pops up or something.
I did keep waiting for something like supernatural to happen when she was like running around.
Were they gonna kill that guy? Were they gonna bury him?
Right.
Or is it just like his head poking out?
Right, like maybe that's like a meditation.
That was way too casual in the background, and nobody really mentioned it. And I need answers on that. There's a couple things I need answers on. I need answers on that. Did Ty's eyes look red to you? So they looked weird to me.
Wait, I took a note about that. I said because her eyes always look like that, because that confused me in season 1, that her eyes had like a weird, there was like a moment. There was a moment in season 1 where I thought she was being possessed because of her eyes, but then that's just what they looked like. Because my note literally says, I forgot how intense her eyes are and how they look like she's possessed. They always look like there's a different color in them. And I think either she's wearing contacts that look like that, but that's how her eyes always look.
I feel like there's something intentional there. I need to go and look at the actress in something else then, because that seems very, very intentional. Yeah, because Jasmine's voice eyes are pretty dark. But her eyes look very like Twilight, like something is up with those. So I don't know. Keeping. I have a question about that. I love the younger actress who plays Natalie, and how it sounds like Juliette Lewis is just dubbing her.
Right, it really does.
Like, are they doing a digital trickery?
Well, it's like how Shauna looks like a de-aged Melanie Linsky. Like,
the casting is really, really good. I guess Shauna's pregnant also. It's gonna give birth to like a tree stump baby.
I feel
a puppy.
The way you feel about like a lost child thing, which I also agree with you, I don't love. That's how I feel very much about a pregnancy plot. I'm like, can't she just like jump off a step?
Well, no, I like a pregnancy plot. When I was growing up, that's what was like my favorite thing about like a soap opera is like all the characters got pregnant every other episode, right? And they would all like get a baby bump, and then they'd fall downstairs and lose their baby, but they didn't really lose their baby. And I love a pregnancy plot, especially a dramatic pregnancy plot. Travis like has a panic attack in the flashback, and Lottie not only gives him a hard-on, but it gives him a vision of a tree stump.
I did feel embarrassed for him with the heart. I was like, oh God, he just got a hard-on in a room full of
And
like...
it wasn't for Natalie.
Yeah.
So the tree stump, do you think that's where the brother is? Because I fully believe the brother is probably alive.
Yes. Like, if the show didn't have like a weird kind of like supernatural element that's like not fully there, but kind of is, if it didn't have that, I'd be like, yeah, he's dead. But because it does have that, I'm like, oh yeah, he's probably going to be alive. And I could see it being that, because I was wondering when she was doing that, I was like, is she like putting this in his brain by doing like some witch shit? Or is it like he's literally just thinking of that when he's calming down? Right?
I don't know. Because then at the end, we have the tree stump again. And I don't know if that was the same one, but it's like, it looked like somebody had been like sitting there and the snow had gone around them or something. Because there's a reason that there wasn't snow on the base of the trunk.
Oh, there wasn't? I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
no, she like that's what she pointed out at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's something up with that. Yeah. I need to watch it again. I want to watch the first season again, but I just didn't go through it. I feel like I should.
When do we have time?
I don't know. And the opening titles, they had new shots in that one too, right?
Oh, I didn't even notice.
I think they did. I need to go watch the other one.
I was just like, oh, I forgot I love this song.
Yeah. I think we went through all the plot points there, though.
Yeah.
Okay. So. My last note is songs, because I think we should do that at the end of every episode. Is songs from the episode. We got Papa Roach, obviously. We've got 17 by Sharon Von Etten. And then Cornflake Girl by Tori Amos. And I had never heard that one before, but I'm like, I like that. So I added it to my playlist.
Well, I love that you can discover music from, because usually this is like, I'm like, oh yeah, I listen to this song.
Yeah. I usually know, I'm like pretty good with like pop culture and knowing most of this stuff, but yeah.
Well, you're like, I feel like you're more into like pop girls, and this is like more like my.
I like singer-songwriter. No, I like singer-songwriter. What are some of your favorites? I prefer my pop girlies, absolutely. I prefer a show, okay? Yeah. But sometimes I can get down with a long-haired little Alanis Morissette sitting on a stool. What are some of your favorites? Just like favorite anything.
My favorite dog of the episode was the dog looking at the screen being like, shit. I'm fucked.
I'm gonna stop watching the show. If the dog dies, I'm done. I'm done with the show. You need to find
that tiny ass dog is definitely dying.
No, that dog defends itself.
I loved. I don't know that loved is the correct word, but we're gonna her eating the ear because it's so insane, and I just love.
Weird.
And she does it so quick too. Like I like that she pulls it out, looks at it, just like doesn't take him bites. Isn't like, oh maybe it's like nope.
I wonder if she actually ate it, or if she just like, and then like spits it out and keeps it again, and then does it again later.
Oh, I think she fully swallowed it. I think she just like put it in her mouth and swallowed it. That's what I would do as a kid when it was like, you have to eat whatever
ears?
thing.
That's what you do as a kid.
Whatever.
All
I was like,
neighborhood friends.
But my parents were like, you have to eat these vegetables. I would just like chuck them in my mouth and swallow
I'd put
them.
them in my underwear.
Really?
I would. I hated vegetables. I really like Misty's line when she is in Natalie's hotel room and she's like, "Do not cry about this, Misty. Babies cry." She starts crying. Christina Ricci's just so good in this.
I will fully admit, I got a little like misty-eyed. I was like, "Oh, I feel bad for her." Like,
but like her line delivery is just hilarious. You know, she's like really, really funny at the same time.
Actually, you know what? Wait, my favorite was the fucking cookie cake. Was the fact that she said. The only thing you don't say, the only thing you say to a cop, and then she's like, and I put it on the cake.
And she was waiting for the rest of them, right? She like was ready. She got her basement all ready. It's not like they could just sit at the dining room table upstairs. She got the basement ready.
She made punch.
She cleaned up after the woman she kept in the basement, right? She cleaned it up. No mention of that. We're never going to get a mention of that again.
I feel like that's like
just
a normal
kind
day
of a thing that happened.
Yeah, like it's like. a blip to Misty. That's like nothing, right?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm sure there's stuff that we missed, but we'll have to catch it in the next.
I mean,
watch.
I have 3.5 pages of notes, but
there you go. There you go. Yeah, I think that's it though. So, yeah, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? You think people are going to die? Who's going to die? Is Jeff going to die this season?
My only worry, and this is the one concern I have.
Okay.
That not enough people are dying. I mean, that was my concern with Scream.
This is not Scream, Ian. This is Yellowjackets.
Well, no, because they've told us that Van doesn't die. And like, so here's my little, like, people that were like, oh, you can't, like, that's, bury your gays. I don't think it is, only because all of these people have survived a plane crash and have to die.
Well, I don't think it's bury your gays, and it would further, if it were to happen, I feel like it would further Ty's character. Yeah. But I don't want her to die. I mean, I'm glad she doesn't, but I don't want her to die because Jasmine Savoy Brown's been losing a lot of lovers in these movies lately, okay? We just gotta let her have one. Let her have one. I was like sure Van was dead last season. I was like, oh shit. Girl is gone. Nope, she's healed up nicely.
I would also rather die, than get my face half eaten off by a
just
wolf.
Like you just have like bandages all over your face, and you're kind of just like against a tree.
Right? I would be like, Zach, can you throw me? You would be like, great, chuck me.
Well, I guess I need to go back and watch this episode and count all of the girls who were coming out of the doors to go back onto the plane, and see how many were there.
Did you notice most of them had their hoods up? I feel like that was on purpose.
I know that was it was like a season 1, episode 1 little sort of thing. Yeah. Okay, what do you guys think of Yellowjackets season 1 or season 2, episode 1? Let us know your thoughts, and we will be doing this every week for all the episodes. All right, and we will see you next time.
Bye. Check out my article over at our sponsors, horrorpress.com, ranking all the ghost faces with reasonings, motives, quotes, and commentary.